In proportion to population and income, Negroes buy more quality products than any other comparable United States group.
Damn.
Per capita, they buy more cosmetics, drugs, and toiletries than anyone else in the country.
Damn.
They'll buy from anyone who wants to sell to them.
Damn.
But we all know that before you can sell to customers, you've got to get to know them. What do the Negro customers buy? Why do they buy? How do you sell to them?
Something specific and unique to African Americans in America is the vestiges of inequality. A lot of people may feel themselves feeling the need to, put on airs and appear to be doing more than you're capable of doing at the current time, to appear, that you have some sort of status that you may wish to have attributed to you, even if you do not. You want to look like you have a certain type of home, certain type of vehicle, certain type of friend, certain type of ability to travel and access certain people and have certain luxuries. You want to appear, kind of curate your image in terms of externally how the world should perceive you, right? More so than, should be necessary, right? And so this was kind of known way back when as well. There was a 1954 film called The Secret of Selling the Negro, meaning selling to the Negro, right? It was filmed by Johnson Publishing Company, which is the publisher of Ebony magazine, trying to encourage businesses to, advertise in the magazine and sell more or target more of the African American community for sales of their products, right? This gets into the knowledge even back then of how the African American has been manipulated in some such way as to overvalue the trinkets and trappings of the day.
I'm talking about a new market, a big new market. Millions upon millions of new prospects with $15 billion to spend. To get the story of this market, to be able to tell you the secret of selling the Negro, we did a lot of digging. We talked to leading businessmen, to customers, and to salesmen. We went to Washington, D.C. We set up cameras and other key points around the nation. And out of this all, there emerged a story. All over the country, families such as this are enjoying new prosperity. They have new interests, new standards of living, a buying power they've never enjoyed before. They're good prospects for practically all types of goods and services. All too often, though, they're overlooked prospects. Why? Because of some good, valid reason? No. They're overlooked because of mistaken ideas. According to leading researchers, in proportion to population and income, Negroes buy more quality products than any other comparable United States group.
Damn.
Per capita, they buy more cosmetics, drugs, and toiletries than anyone else in the country.
Damn.
They'll buy from anyone who wants to sell to them.
Damn.
But we all know that before you can sell to customers, you've got to get to know them. You must understand something about them. What do the Negro customers buy? Why do they buy? How do you sell to them?
The secret of selling to the Negro is expressed in one word. That word is recognition. Now, there's nothing unusual about that. People want to be recognized. They need recognition. That's basic in all of us. But perhaps because he's had so little of it, the Negro needs even more. He needs to feel important and appreciated. This need is a very real and important one. It shows up even in many of the Negro's shopping habits. Anyone who sells or wants to sell to the Negro customer should know about some of these habits. 3 habits in particular play a big part in every sales transaction. To begin with, most Negroes buy by brand. They ask for products by name. They're quick to turn down off brands. Now for the second. The Negro buys good quality merchandise. Symbols of quality and prestige are very important to the Negro customer. This woman, for example, is buying fine crystalware. But she is also buying the admiration and approval of her friends and relatives. It's a well-known fact that many Negro customers are influenced by the opinions of others. What their friends may think of a certain item often decides whether or not the sale is made. So remember, the Negro buys quality merchandise. That's the second important point. And here's the third thing to remember when selling to a Negro customer. When he specifically asks for one thing, don't try to sell him something else. Don't try to switch him at the point of sale. If you do, he'll probably react something like this.
Doesn't he think I've got the money to pay for it?
The Negro just wants to be treated like everybody else. No matter who you're calling on, a little friendliness and courtesy help a lot.
All right, still here? Okay, good, because that means you're probably learning something very good. Or at least thinking about it in a different way, right? So the clip just previously shown was kind of just shedding a light on how the African-American dollar was viewed in America, right? And how we looked at money, how we were connected to money, and how we were connected to the things that we would use the money to get, right? And so basically the first, secret, quote unquote, that was being uncovered was that that African Americans are starved for proper recognition, treatment, and just human dignity that comes along or should come along with just being a human being, if you're equally treated in a society, right? And so, okay, that's not a shocker there, but that takes us all the way back to where we started with this with Chad and what he said about, not trying to impress others or spending money to impress others or trying to, come across as if you have this or have that or what have you. This is getting to the core of potentially what could be going on in a lot of people's psyche when they overspend, when they buy things that they really can't afford, but they, vehicles and things of that nature, elaborate clothing and all this kind of stuff. Like, I think all of us do it to a certain extent, depending on your particular choice of poison. Some people love sneakers and shoes. Some people love cars. Some people love homes. Some people love jewelry. Different people have different, what I'll refer to as vices, right? But it's worth taking a look at, what the psychology is behind that. Do you really like it, or do you like the way that you're perceived with it, or what does it do for you, especially in instances where it does not align with your financial objectives and goals for the future? It's one thing to have those things and what have you, like there's really no issue with that. However, if it's cutting against your future, then the question becomes, well, why? And there has to be some sort of reasoning or thought process behind that, whether conscious or subconscious, right? And that's the point of this.
I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. All of those dark nights I got then, breaking my back to make it out, got me feeling like pain. I ain't never need your help, I know you wishing me well. A penny for your thoughts, but seeing no change. I snap for the sun like Diddy. The riches got a mad ass son, I'm like Billy. I ain't never switch up, whole team with me. Putting on for my city like OAGZ.